Well, happy Thursday to you, East Texas, and welcome to this July the 9th edition of First Alert Weather Extra. I'm meteorologist Andrew Tate, and really today's one of those days we're going to have a lot of different things to talk about. Thursdays, we get a lot of stuff. Kind of each week is a different release from the Climate Prediction Center, and this week we have their El Nino update, so we're going to be talking about that, an update on the long-range tropical weather forecast. We kind of hinted at that yesterday. We have a weather word, which I forgot to include yesterday, drought monitor update, and a couple stories from across the country that are weather related. So a lot to get into today, but let's go ahead and kind of our headline of the day. We have what we call a backdoor cold front moving into the area next week, and it will bring a chance for rain and relief from the heat. When we talk about backdoor cold fronts, it's simply a cold front that moves in from the north and east. Typically, in our part of the country, cold fronts move in from the west or the northwest, so when they come in from the opposite direction, we like to call them backdoor cold fronts. And we have a backdoor cold front on its way to East Texas early next week. Let me get our 7-day forecast pulled up, and here we go. We will get moving along. So chances for rain pretty low today, pretty low tomorrow, pretty low Saturday. Most of us have stayed dry today. Few showers, isolated thunderstorms well south of Lufkin today, but other than that, many of us, pretty much all of us, have stayed dry. That'll be the same case for tomorrow, and then a slightly higher chance for rain on Saturday. Highs mid-upper 90s today, tomorrow, and Saturday. We topped off upper 90s yesterday. Today we're probably going to do the same. Mid-upper 90s is kind of what we're already on track to do. At least at this time, we're in the mid to upper 90s, so we know that's where highs will be. Wouldn't be surprised for a few triple digits out there. And depending on how many spots might make it to 100 today, I don't think it'll be many, but depending on how many spots may make it there, we may adjust our forecast for tomorrow accordingly. We'll have to see. That'll probably be made between the 6 and 10 o'clock newscasts if there were to be a change. Chances for rain will increase Sunday and continue at somewhat of a higher level through Tuesday and then start to drop off. You'll notice cooler temperatures, highs upper 80s, low 90s for a couple days early next week with that backdoor cold front moving through the area, bringing some cooler air and that chance for showers and thunderstorms. Let's get into our Weather Extra Super 7-day forecast and kind of go day by day for the next 7 days. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, very low chance for rain. Highs mid to upper 90s. Saturday, partly cloudy, slightly higher chance for rain, about 20%. Highs still mid-upper 90s. But we get to Sunday, and that chance for showers and thunderstorms starts to increase. 50-50 shot for showers and thunderstorms on Sunday. Highs still low to mid-90s. Still going to be warm out there on Sunday before the rain moves in. And then that cold front probably going to move in Monday, maybe early Tuesday. Timing still a little uncertain there, but we'll call for northeast winds on Monday. Scattered showers and thunderstorms, about a 60% chance, and highs in the upper 80s and low 90s. We get to Tuesday, chance for rain is lower, isolated showers and thunderstorms. Winds will shift more southeast, and again, keeping that chance for rain around on Tuesday. By Wednesday, temperatures starting to climb back up. Go for about 92, partly cloudy, only a 20% chance for rain. And then Wednesday, mostly sunny, back into the mid-90s or so. And south winds 5 to 10, and that chance for rain, again, very low, only 10% by the time we get to Wednesday. So the 7-day rainfall forecast, I have mixed feelings on this. I'm not in love with these numbers, but when we zoom things out, it does give us kind of a good visual here on what we're expecting. Again, so with this backdoor cold front, and you'll get a better view of this when I show you our long-range futurecast of the pressure systems. But essentially what's going to happen is we're going to have an area of low pressure that kind of sets up shop. We'll kind of say over Texarkana, if you will. And so I think that that's going to... The positioning of that will determine where we see the highest rainfall totals. And so essentially the way things are looking right now, south of I-20 in East Texas where we'll have the highest rainfall totals, and then you can see even higher totals kind of southeast Texas, southern Louisiana, and then also some higher rainfall totals southeastern Missouri, southern Illinois, into western Kentucky, western Tennessee, kind of really the deep south or the southeastern U.S. is where these rainfall totals look to be the highest over the next 7 days. Now, this time of year, when we talk about rain chances, we also talk about the tropics, the Atlantic looks quiet. It continues to look quiet. We'll talk more about the Atlantic a little later, but oftentimes this time of year, we're waiting for a tropical system to bring us rain, and that's just not going to be the case. But the good news is, going into mid-July, we have chances for rain in our forecast, and they're pretty high chances for rain for this time of year. So there's that 7-day forecast, full screen for you. Very low chance for rain tomorrow again, but the chance for showers and thunderstorms will increase as we go into next week with that kind of area of low pressure and a backdoor cold front, which we'll be talking more about those things in depth in just a moment. We do have a weather history segment for today, so I'll get that pulled up for us. Today in weather history, on July the 9th in 1979, the system that would become Hurricane Bob organized into a tropical depression in what was then known as the Gulf of Mexico. Bob was the first tropical cyclone to be given a masculine name in the Atlantic Basin. On the 11th, the storm that is struck Louisiana as a Category 1. And of course, the daily weather history segment comes to us courtesy of the Southeast Regional Climate Center. So again, this day, July the 9th, 1979, what would become Hurricane Bob organized into a tropical depression. That's our weather history segment for the day today. Stick around. When we come back, we'll talk about our long-range forecast and also some kind of global climate updates related to El Nino. Those things still to come. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra here on East Texas Now. We'll be right back.
This summer, make a move to fight hunger by supporting the East Texas Food Bank's Summer Food Program for kids.
I've got a sandwich.
When schools close for the summer, so do their food programs.
Carrots, woohoo!
The East Texas Food Bank's Summer Food Program provides thousands of free meals to children age 18 and younger.
Apples, awesome.
To learn more, go to easttexasfoodbank.org/summerfood. It's the winning move.
Did you know you can watch KLTV7 live or whenever you want? Totally free with no subscriptions. Just search KLTV7 on your Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, or Android TV. Get local live news, first alert weather, and sports anytime you want it. Download and stream KLTV7, watch live, or play it back later. It's easy to watch, easy to install, and it's free. This is KLTV7 on your schedule. So the next time you stream, search KLTV7 News.
When you put your trust in the KLTV First Alert Weather Team, you are putting your trust in a combined 40 years of experience.
We don't hype things up. We don't try to scare people. We want to give what actually is going to happen.
I'm forecasting for an area where all of my family is. I want them to be safe, and I want you to be safe.
We're spending, hours and hours looking in depth at the forecast so that you can prepare.
We all have our specialties, and when we put them all together, it makes for the perfect team.
Start the show. Alright, stand by for show open. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, East Texas.
Thanks for waking up with us.
Mornings start here.
And welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra here on this Thursday. Every Thursday we get an update from the U.S. Drought Monitor, and we're going to take a quick look at that. And really no major changes, actually no changes were made to the Drought Monitor for us here this week. But let me get that pulled up for us. You would think maybe there would have been some improvement, but if you think back earlier this week, some of the rain, or a lot of the rain that we had across parts of the area, fell after Tuesday morning, and that's when the cutoff is for the Drought Monitor. So no changes here locally for us in the Drought Monitor. I'll pull up the last week versus this week comparison, and again, no changes for us here in East Texas in the Drought Monitor. But I do think we'll see some improvements given we've had I'm not 100% certain, but I think we've had maybe 2 inches of rain in parts of the area since Tuesday morning. If not, it was certainly over an inch Month to date, we've had close to 2.5 inches of rain in parts of the area. So that I might be a little off on my number there, but still quite a bit of rain has fallen this week. So I do think we'll see some improvements in the drought monitor that comes out next week. Let's go ahead and take a look. Let me pull the 7-day up again and kind of reorient ourselves here. We have more rain on the way, which will be good news for the drought monitor. A lot of that rain probably Sunday, Monday, maybe into Tuesday. And again, the backdoor cold front moves in early next week. Let's take a look at the upper level forecast map. We have high pressure overhead right now that dominates things. It keeps us hot. It keeps us dry. Very limited chances for rain with high pressure and control. But watch what happens as we go into the weekend. High pressure still stays overhead, but it really strengthens. We're going to hear more about this in one of our weather kind of news stories in a few moments. But high pressure really strengthens over the western United States. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of the term heat dome, but this is essentially the heat dome setting up over the western U.S. over the weekend. Now, we see an area of low pressure developing kind of over the eastern United States, kind of a short wave. We've talked about that before, kind of a small area of low pressure. And what will happen as we go into early next week is that area of low pressure kind of becomes cut off from the rest of the upper level flow of the atmosphere. And you see it kind of sets up camp over the deep south. And that's where our backdoor cold front comes from. And that's where our chances for rain are going to come from, is that small little area of low pressure. That's Monday. There's Tuesday. It's basically right over us. And then we go into Wednesday and Thursday of next week, and it really starts to move off to the south and west. Now, I went a little further ahead when I was doing my forecast. I wanted to see what would happen with that area of low pressure. And at least one particular model kind of has that being absorbed by what could become a tropical cyclone in the eastern Pacific, maybe mid to late next week. That'll be something interesting for us to watch. But you see high pressure builds back in towards the end of next week. It's going to shut off our chances for rain. It's going to shoot temperatures back up into the mid and upper 90s. Again, we haven't looked at this map a lot lately, but you can tell a lot about what's going to happen with our forecast based on areas of high pressure and areas of low pressure in the upper levels of the atmosphere, and that's why I like to look at that. The long-range forecast from the Climate Prediction Center, the 8 to 14-day range, this would be the 17th through the 23rd of July. They continue to place us in an area that leans warmer than normal, so mid-upper 90s expected for mid to late July. And then on the rainfall, the change that we've seen here is they no longer have us leaning wetter than normal. They've moved that off to the west. However, near normal. They're not saying we're going to be drier than normal. They're just saying kind of no indication of wetter or drier. I'll take that, and we're pretty close to the wetter than normal. We'll zoom things out here, and you can see wetter than normal conditions expected for kind of the desert southwest in the Four Corners part of the country. The hazard outlook still placing us in a excessive heat risk for that long range, again, the 17th through the 23rd. But other than that, no long range hazards for us to be on the lookout for, which this time of year, good and bad thing. Of course, we don't want severe weather, so thankfully that not something to look out for, but it's going to be hot out there. Here is the 10-day forecast. I'll make it full screen for you. You can see as high pressure builds back in late next week, our chances for rain go away and high temperatures climb back up into the mid and upper 90s, which will be near to above normal by the end of next week. So there is our extended forecast. We did get an update from the Climate Prediction Center on El Nino today. Let me pull that up for you. We get an update from them. I believe it's the second Thursday of every month. Yeah, I think today is the second Thursday. Anyway, we get an update from them once a month, and those come out on Thursday. So a lot happens for us on Thursdays. But here's what they're saying. El Nino continues and will strengthen through the end of this year with a 97% chance that it will persist through early spring 2027. We're going to talk more about the long-range forecast related to temperatures and precipitation probably next week as those things are related to El Nino. But what I do want to do is just tell you this is the latest on El Nino and then tie that into the tropical tropics. So we've talked about this before, but a refresher for you. With El Nino, we have warmer water in the Pacific, and that leads to more hurricanes. There's more warm water, that's more energy, and then there's less shear, and that's basically wind in the atmosphere tearing up these storms. So a more active season in the Pacific is expected with this El Nino. However, in the Atlantic, we have somewhat cooler water and we have more shear tearing apart these storms as they even try to get formed. And so a less active season is expected in the Atlantic with El Ninos. And so yesterday, Colorado State University, which is one of the reputable organizations that produces a hurricane season forecast other than NOAA, they released another update. And what I've done, you see that bottom row, the number in parentheses is their original season forecast. We did an update on this maybe a month or so ago, maybe longer. They released a update after the first initial publication. I didn't put those numbers on. I didn't want to get too confusing. But originally, they were forecasting 13 named storms this season, now only 9. They have dropped the hurricane number from 6 to 4 and the major hurricanes from 2 down to 1. So seeing some changes there in their outlook related to El Nino. That is a big factor in this. Let me make sure there's nothing else I want to get to before we kind of change gears here. I think that is it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to do a roundup of national weather stories and one of them actually happening here locally, if you will, in Texas. So stick around. First Alert Weather Extra. We'll be right back. You're watching here on East Texas Now.
This summer, make a move to fight hunger by supporting the East Texas Food Bank's Summer Food Program for Kids.
I've got a sandwich.
When schools close for the summer, so do their food programs.
Carrots, woohoo!
The East Texas Food Bank's Summer Food Program provides thousands of free meals to children age 18 and younger.
Apples, awesome.
To learn more, go to easttexasfoodbank.org/summerfood. It's the winning move.
In East Texas, if you know where to go, every weekend is an adventure. With the East Texas Weekend, you're never too far from fun. The East Texas Weekend is here to help you find a side of East Texas waiting to be discovered. From local events for the whole family to fun activities that cater to the enthusiast in all of us. Eat, shop, play, and so much more. Download our mobile app and plan your weekend experience today.
Yo, dog, we should go to the lake.
Man, I wish we could, but there's a storm rolling in here in about 10 minutes.
Yo, storm? What do you mean? There's not a cloud in this. Yo, how did you know that?
First Alert.
Huh.
The KLTV First Alert Weather app. Stay ahead of the storm.
Did you know you can watch KLTV 7 live or whenever you want? Totally free with no subscriptions. Just search KLTV 7 on your Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, or Android TV. Get local live news, First Alert weather, and sports anytime you want it. Download and stream KLTV 7, watch live, or play it back later. It's easy to watch, easy to install, and it's free. This is KLTV 7 on your schedule. So the next time you stream, search KLTV 7 News.
Well, welcome back to Weather Extra. We take this time each day to kind of look at some weather events happening across different parts of the country or the world, and maybe sometimes they're not weather related. They might be related to science or just different things, but both of them today kind of related to weather. This first one, is not only somewhat local for us, but it also is related to the weather. So let me get the video pulled up for, I hit the wrong button. Sorry. What are we doing here? There we go. All right. Here's the video. So what we're looking at is from the Corpus Christi area. and people in Corpus Christi, Texas, of course, they're looking for divine intervention to help them through a years-long drought. The Texas coastal bend has been facing a drought-related water crisis. So Wednesday night, faith leaders from 20 different churches and denominations came together to pray for rain. Mayor Paulette Guajardo says the inspiration for the interfaith gathering came from a higher calling. Dozens of community members joined the clergy, who also gave thanks for recent rain that pushed back a level 1 water emergency. And this is something I know we've talked about on our newscast to some level, but a very significant situation unfolding there in Corpus Christi. And so I just thought that was something interesting for us to talk about today. Also, we have been talking a lot lately. Let me turn these things off real quick, and then I'll be able to refocus here. We've been talking about a lot lately, wildfires, extreme heat, flooding, all of those things. So wanted to bring you an update on those things. Storm recovery does continue in parts of the eastern U.S. and the Midwest after violent storms. Meanwhile, the West, as we just talked about, bracing for extreme heat. And we talked last week about how kind of similar situation set up over the East Coast. Reed Binion does have more for us today.
It's a lot of heat. There's nothing we can do about it.
We have to get here right as soon as the park opens before it heats up.
Residents in Los Angeles doing what they can to stay cool with a heat advisory in effect this week for parts of Southern California, including LA.
We're putting on sunscreen, wearing hats.
Trying to beat the heat in the San Fernando Valley.
Meanwhile, much of the West is bracing for a dangerous heat dome set to build this weekend. Widespread high temperatures in the upper 90s and low 100s are likely Saturday, from Oregon and California to east across the Rockies. It comes as parts of the Midwest are still recovering from brutal storms, including a tornado that ripped through the Detroit Lakes, Minnesota area this week.
I'm really just amazed by all the people that have come out and helped.
Communities in the East also dealing with the aftermath of violent storms. In Ocean Township, New Jersey, the state's governor visited a BJ's wholesale club where a section of roof collapsed amid heavy rain and severe flooding.
The mayor was saying DCA is coming out to assess why this happened, make sure we're doing everything we need to do to make sure our buildings are sound.
Authorities said no one inside the store was harmed. Also in New Jersey, the roof of a vacant hotel collapsed in the wake of severe weather. Part of that was caught on camera. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Roku users, here's how you can add KLTV to your device in just a few simple steps. Grab your remote and head to the search bar. Once you're there, type in KLTV. You'll see the thumbnail appear. Select it. Then choose Add App. Once it's installed, head back to the home screen and find the app. Select the app to open it. Now you have access to free live newscast, first alert weather, and our full library of local content. Stream anytime. KLTV.
Man, those bleachers are uncomfortable.
Where can I get one of those?
Only in the red zone.
And welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra as we begin to wrap things up here on this Thursday. Let's do our weather word of the week. Of course, normally it is our Wednesday weather word, but today it's going to be our weather word of the week because this has happened a few times now. I have forgotten to do our weather word on a Wednesday. So here is our word for today. It is simoom, and it is spelled different ways, but it is a strong, dry, dust-laden desert wind that blows in the Sahara. And this always trips me up because in East Texas, it's Palestine, but overseas, it's Palestine. In Palestine, Jordan, Syria, and the desert of Arabia, its temperature may exceed 54 degrees Celsius, which is about, I believe I wrote down, about 130 degrees Fahrenheit, and the humidity may fall below 10%. The name means poison wind, and it is given because of the sudden onset of a simoom may cause heat stroke. This is attributed to the fact that the hot wind brings more heat to the body than can be disposed of by the evaporation of perspiration. Basically, your body can't cool itself down. So there's our weather word for the day today. We're going to close things out here with 2 satellite images of the day. Our first one here is of a Saharan dust plume making its way across the Atlantic right now. You can kind of see it when the sun is up. You can see that Saharan dust. This might make its way to East Texas this weekend. There are some questions on if that area of low pressure that we're expecting early next week might kind of steer some of this away, but maybe some level of Saharan dust making its way to East Texas this weekend, something to watch out for. I don't think it will be as significant as the last one, and even the last one wasn't all that significant. We really could only see it in the evenings and in the mornings with the sunrise and the sunset. There were no major air quality issues with that one, which is good news. Our second satellite image of the day, we're looking at the Amazon, and what we see are clouds developing over land and not really developing over the river. And that is, of course, because the land is warmer than the river, and so the clouds are developing over the warmer land mass and not over the cooler mass of water, if you will. So thought those were both some cool ones from the last couple of days. That's all the time we have for First Alert Weather Extra here on this Thursday. Thank you so much for joining me. We will be back with you tomorrow for a Friday edition of the show. Have a good night.
Roku users, here's how you can add KLTV to your device in just a few simple steps. Grab your remote and head to the search bar. Once you're there, type in KLTV. You'll see the thumbnail appear. Select it. Then choose Add App. Once it's installed, head back to the home screen and find the app. Select the app to open it. Now you have access to free live newscast, First Alert Weather, and our full library of local content. Stream anytime. KLTV.
Man, those bleachers are uncomfortable.
Where can I get one of those?
Only in the red zone.
Stand by for show open. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, East Texas.
Thanks for waking up with us.
Mornings start here.
Welcome back to East Texas Now. This is Hannah, Kylie,
and Leo. And we're covering the stories you want to hear about.
live local news, breaking news, and interviews all day long, every day.
Thank you for having me.
I hope you were entertained and, more importantly, informed.
And guess what? You can watch us totally free with no subscriptions. You can just search KLTV 7.
This is East Texas Now, live local news all day long.